Nimrod, the first man who tried to challenge God. After the flood, when the earth was washed clean, when humanity was given a second chance, one man rose, not to rebuild, but to resist. He didn't just hunt animals, he hunted influence. He didn't just build cities, he built rebellion. And for the first time since creation, man tried to rise against God. Like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the Bible Project for more cinematic Bible stories. His name was Nimrod, a name buried in just a few verses, yet echoing through history like a warning. No long speeches, no recorded conversations, just fragments. But those fragments reveal a man who changed everything. Who was Nimrod, really? A hero? A ruler? Or the architect of the first rebellion after the flood? Tonight, you will see what the Bible actually says and what it quietly reveals. A world reborn. The waters had receded. The earth, still damp, still scarred, still remembering judgment. The wind moved gently across the plains, carrying the silence of a world that had once been destroyed. Only one family remained. From Noah came a new beginning. Genesis 9:1. And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth. A command, a mission, a divine reset. Spread out, fill the earth, build life under God. But somewhere, deep within the heart of man, something else was growing. The rise of a name. Generations passed. Children became tribes. Tribes became people. And people began to gather. Then a name appears, quietly. Suddenly, Genesis 10:8-9, and Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. A mighty one, not just strong, but influential, dominant, recognized. A hunter, but not just of animals. The language suggests something deeper. A man who pursued, who conquered, who established control. The earth had many men, but this one stood out. Nimrod, the first kingdom. The ground trembles with footsteps. Men gather, voices rise. Structures begin to form. This is no longer survival. This is organization, power, control. Genesis 10:10. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh in the land of Shinar. A kingdom, the first one mentioned after the flood. Not a family, not a tribe, a system. Nimrod didn't just live, he ruled. Cities rose from dust. Walls climbed toward the sky. Fire burned through the night. And at the center of it all was a man who refused to stay small. Unity without God. The camera sweeps across a vast plain, people moving as one, speaking as one, thinking as one. Genesis 11:1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Unity. But something was off. This unity had no mention of God. No altar, no surrender, no dependence. Just man and his ambition. Then, the decision is made. The plan. A fire-lit gathering. Faces glow in the night. Eyes filled with vision and something else. Defiance. Genesis 11:3-4. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Let us build, let us rise, let us make a name. This was not construction. This was rebellion. God said, Scatter. Man said, Stay. God said, "Fill the earth." Man said, "Build a system." And at the center of it all, a leader, a mind, a vision. Nimrod. Scene 6. The tower. The tower rises. Stone upon stone, brick upon brick, sweat, fire, determination. It pierces the sky. Clouds wrap around it. Lightning flickers above. A monument not to God, but to man, to independence, to defiance, to identity without God. This is not about reaching heaven physically. It is about replacing dependence spiritually. Heaven responds. Silence. Then, movement. Not from earth, but from above. Genesis 11:5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. God sees, not just the tower, but the intention, the unity, the direction, the trajectory, and then a statement. Genesis 11:6. And the Lord said, "Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do." This is not approval. This is exposure. Man had reached a dangerous place. Unity without God. Power without submission. Vision without alignment. Divine interruption. The wind shifts. Voices begin to fracture. Words no longer understood. Confusion spreads like fire. Genesis 11:7. Let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Chaos. Builders stop. Leaders shout, but no one understands. Unity collapses. The system breaks. And the tower stands unfinished. The scattering. Men separate. Groups divide. Nations are born, not by design, but by disruption. Genesis 11:8. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. What God commanded at the beginning is now enforced. Not gently, but forcefully, the dream ends. The system dissolves, and Nimrod disappears from the narrative. The silence of Nimrod. No recorded repentance. No explanation. No ending. Just silence. But his impact remains. A kingdom started. A system introduced. A pattern revealed. Man trying to rise without God. The real rebellion. This was never just about a tower. It was about control, identity, independence. Let us make a name without God. The first global system built not on obedience, but on defiance. And heaven intervened. Not because man was weak, but because man was becoming powerful in the wrong direction. What it means today. The tower still speaks. Not in bricks, but in systems. In ambition without surrender. In success without God. In unity. That excludes truth. Nimrod's story is not just history. It is a mirror. Every time man tries to build identity without God, the spirit of Babel lives again. Every time purpose is pursued without alignment, the pattern repeats. But God still sees, and God still intervenes. The wind moves again. Across the ruins of Babel, the tower stands incomplete. A reminder that no structure built against God will ever stand. If this opened your eyes, subscribe to the Bible Project for more cinematic Bible stories.